Now then, we have got a bit of time to play with the TR6. So all the chassis work has been done, all the main structural floor pans and so on and so forth, everything's been done to that. Then the drivetrain, the engine, all coming together. Then there's ancillary things to be put on. Lights, got new lights for it, and the bumpers will have to be taken off and chromed, and then eventually it'll be sprayed. But for the moment it is all running and rolling. The engine is a 2.5 litre straight 6. Now this car was originally exported to the United States back in 1975. Now the British home spec cars had a very crude early fuel injection system. It was alright, but nothing like what we know as fuel injection today. It was almost like the sort of thing you'd find on an old diesel engine, really. Anyway, US spec cars were twin carb, and this one obviously is still twin carb. Now the thing about a TR is, as you can see, the steering wheel is now on the right where it would be in the UK. It used to be on the left when it was in the US. So using a donor British spec car, home market car, and using that for parts, the steering gear was swapped over. Dashboard obviously is different because all the gauges and dials would have been over there on the US spec car, so you change that. But all the stuff for the steering, where it comes through here, is replicated. I'm taking all the grommets and everything out over here, so you can see that exactly the same things are over there on an American spec car, and it's just a mirror image. So you basically swap stuff over. And here, see, where the steering would come through, and then you've got attachment point, everything else the same as you would have on a British spec car. So once you've got all that, obviously the steering rack will be different because that's a British spec one, with the linkage all down there and there. Yeah, so it's not actually a bad job. You know, it's not a lot of cutting about like you would do a lot of other cars when you maybe, if you imported a US built car, I don't know, let's say a Corvette or something, to put that onto a right hand drive, especially when they didn't produce, you know, as far as I know, they wouldn't have produced, you know, as an example, a right hand drive Corvette, in which case you would maybe have to manufacture various bits to get it over on the other side. But with these, as I said, because they were both markets, most parts were interchangeable, and as I said, having a donor car makes it all the easier. So all the normal bits have been done. Floor pans have all been cleaned and welded where they needed it. Actually, this one wasn't too bad. The chassis underneath, let's see, underneath here, has all been done and sealed, under sealed. Now the bodywork overall is very, very good, very straight, and hasn't suffered from rot like most of them have over the years. As I said, it just needs prepping and painting, and that's something that will be done in the future. Now in theory this should fire up, so we'll give it a go. Well, it's running, and that's a good thing, but I'm not happy with the timing on it, so that's the next thing. But yeah, it's running, so we've got a start point, and I'll just have to play around with it and yeah, get it timed better than that, because it is missing. So there we go, onwards and upwards. But yeah, we're getting there. That's all quite exciting. Well, it's fairly grey and starting to cloud up, but it's been dry. As I said, we had rain last week, which was a great help. But the boys down south, they are absolutely bone dry, and can't even get the ploughs in the ground. It's that hard. So I suppose they'll be praying for a bit of rain. It's getting cooler day by day, but you know, we're nearly in November, so it's not a surprise. But anyway, thanks a lot.